Hello guys. So I changed my pocket out. All right. And this time I did a simple square see-through pocket, and you'll get to see what that looks like once I mat in there. And in the tutorial, I cover this, guys. All right. In the videos, I cover this so you can check it out there, and I'll link you down below so you can pick up the tutorial on how to make the book. So I want to tell you something funny. After I was done with all of this, remember I said I couldn't find the paper collection that I was going to use? It was right in front of me. I had already taken it out so that I don't have to look for it. And it was right in front of me. But I don't need another Christmas album right now. So I'm going to put this to the side and make believe this never happened. All right, so here we go, my friends. So the first thing I like to do when matting, and I believe I talked about this already, but we're going to go through the motions once again. I go through my papers. I pick out what my front cover is going to look like. All right, I don't know what it's going to look like just yet, but I do know that I want these two papers. All right, and because this album is small or short, I should say, I think, let me just measure before I get all excited about this. Yes, I can get away with one sheet for the front and back cover, which would be this quilted one, and this is going to be my spine. All right, so I'm going to put these two sheets to the side, and then I always like to get whatever sheet. Nowadays, almost every paper collection has a sheet that you have to cut the elements apart, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. All right, you can use a paper trimmer for this, or you can use a ruler and a knife. I use a paper trimmer, and then when I have to, I use a ruler and a knife. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut all of these out so I have elements that I can decorate with. Okay, very, very simple. This is when you start getting organized. Okay, so now we have these nice 4x6 cards. We've got some, 4x4 cards. And now we have a 4x6 and then a few 2x2s. And then you're going to pile those up and get yourself organized. Okay, really, really important. If you do not get yourself organized, you're going to have a mess everywhere. And then you can't find anything, and the process becomes overwhelming, and you lose the fun. All right, you lose the joy. We don't want to do that. Okay, so once again, paper collection I'm using is Bobunny Kiss the Cook. I have, for now, I am using one paper collection. All right, for now. And I am also using the Noteworthy. All right, those are the little embellishments that come with the paper collection. I didn't get the pocket cards for this one, which I kind of regret because that has the recipe cards in there, but I can go online and just print out a recipe card onto craft cardstock and everything would be just fine. Or I can buy some. Doesn't really matter. So I'll live. Now, for now, when I say that I'm using one paper collection, okay, I always, because I can't help myself, I always buy two paper collections. Or it depends what's most economical. Or I buy one paper collection and then an extra sheet. If I really love the collection, I get an extra two sheets of it. All right, so that is bottom line what I do. When I create a kit, I do the same thing. There's a paper collection and then an extra sheet of it or corresponding paper collection. Because my projects, no doubt about it, take a lot of paper. All right. So people always ask me, oh, how many sheets? I don't know. I buy a paper collection and I buy an extra sheet of each paper so that I have enough paper, and that's what you should buy. I don't say, oh, I use 5 sheets of this because it doesn't work like that, guys. You need a paper collection typically has 18 sheets of paper. All right. A stack, a paper stack. Some people call it stack, some people call it stash, whatever. It's still a pad of paper. It usually has 48 sheets of paper or from 24 to 48 sheets. It depends. Graphic 45 paper only has, I believe, 24 sheets, but a good paper stack has 48 sheets of paper. So for any one of my projects, I always recommend from 18 to 48 sheets of paper. You are covered. All right, guys. So you may want to use that as a rule of thumb. It's never one or two sheets of paper. We're making a book. Okay. So right now I said I'm just starting off with this, but I may have to go in this pack and pull another sheet out. All right. Now, if it's just because I like this sheet of paper more than the other, I don't pull it out. I don't even bother doing that and breaking up the pack because I hate scraps. We'll go into that later on. All right. I absolutely dislike scraps. I don't save scraps. I don't have all sorts of scraps laying around for use for later. You're never going to use them. If you don't use them now, I promise they're going to be in your stash forever in 10 days. You have to be really disciplined if you're going to go back and take those scrap papers to finish up a project. Some people make cards with it. Now that I believe. But are you going to go back to those scraps and finish up a project? I think not. You all tell me how many scraps you have in your craft room. All right, guys, let's get started. So I'm going to mat just like I did before. Let me get my paper trimmer out and let's get to it. All right. So let me get my little space organized here. Right now I'm going to put my 12 by 12s over here because it's easier for me to look through. And then I start putting my long scraps here to my left hand side and then my little scraps up here right above me. Okay, so I'm really loving this cherry for the inside of this. I think that's going to be fun. So I'm going to do an 1/8 of an inch border. So if you learned anything from me today, that means you're going to, or in this series, that means you're going to cut your paper 1/4 of an inch smaller than the matting area. All right. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. All right. I'm going to cut everything out, lay it out in place, and get to matting. And if you notice, this album is pretty much the same as the other one, except that it's in an alternating orientation. Okay, so I know I have, whoopsie, I know I have a piece back here, same pocket back here, so I'm just going to go for it and stick it back there, guys. All right, well, I have to break my head over what I'm going to use back there when I already have determined what I'm using in the front, right? So here I got a small piece and a long piece. If you want, sometimes I'm pretty disciplined and I just cut the branding strip off, but there are times that this branding strip works for me. When I'm matting inside a pocket, so sometimes I leave it there. It all depends what kind of mood I'm in. Sometimes sometimes I feel like a nut and sometimes I don't. All right, how's that? So we shall see what I feel like today. All right, so here this is, again, the same style pocket, but in a different orientation. Remember, we opened this up and we have all this real estate here to create some nice looks. So I'm going to use this for right here. Let me get a quick measurement. Again, using that 1/8 of an inch measurement. And everything is working out to be the same. So I'm going to go for that. That's going to look really cute right there. That too much? Nope, that's perfect. Let's see what's behind here. That's not going to work out for up there. So I'm putting that up there and this to my side. Or I could just continue and just do an alternating pattern, which is kind of cool. Let me try that. See how much or how little I like that. Again, I never know what I want until I actually test it and see it. But I think I may like this alternating stripe. So let me put it here and let's see how much that's going to grow on me. All right, let's see. I may, hate it. Still got quite a bit of paper here for this one, so I'm going to cut another piece and use the opposite side for the inside of my album. Okay. So that's going to be for in here. Super cute. Love. And this cherry piece I'm going to use over there on the opposite side. Just make sure I got the right measurement going on here. I do. So that's going to go there. I'm thinking I'm going to use the cherries here as well. Or I can use this yellow here. Let's see, let's see. Just about done with this paper here. And it doesn't look like I have a bunch of repetitive pieces. So I want that top sentiment there. So I'm going to cut off the branding strip and throw that out. I don't leave it in my scrap area because I'm not going to use that. Throw it out. This is a good piece. I'm going to tell you why that's a good piece. Nice. I don't even know what that says there, but we like it. I like that a lot. The back of this, it's a little boring. Have enough cherries there. Small piece on top, small piece on top, long piece to my left-hand side. So I'm going to use something different. Let me leave my ruler close by. Oh, I like this giant apple thing here. Pretty, pretty. So I look through my papers and I pick something that I like. Again, what I like. If it doesn't look good, then I pick something else I like. So I'm looking at this sheet of paper. I'm really loving this. I love the black background because it's got the black background for the cherries. I'm really loving this piece here. So I'm going to test it. If I don't like the way it looks, I get another one. All right. And I'm just double checking my measurements because, why screw up? It's the same measurement, but I can't help myself. I'm always double checking. Whoopsie, whoopsie, whoopsie. On top. All right, here I've got way too much going on. All right, too much for me. Flip that over, kind of digging that. See on the yellow, I like that. So I'm going to keep that opposite side. And then, just to keep it interesting, I'm going to use the same pattern, okay, on the top. Excuse me, not so much interesting, but not to make it look super crazy. I'm going to keep the same pattern on the top. See? Now it's going to look like a crate in there, like that. See, I really, really loved this paper, but next to this one, it did not work. Now, what we could have done is, and I'm going to do it, I'm going to show you. If you had to have this paper, here's what you would have done. Switch that out. Flip it over. Remember I said you do an all over pattern. Look at how nice that looks. You do the same pattern throughout. If you've got to have something and you love it, check it out, guys. All right. And I have to say, I really like this a lot. So I'm going to switch everything out and I'm going to save this for something else. Why not? Right? Because we can do that. So there you go. So this is a good stopping point here for me. So I'm going to close this off. Right? And I'm going to move on to the back of the page. Now the back of the page, because we already have this piece going, let's see if we can make this work. right? So I'm going to throw this on here. That's what we've got so far. Now here is your belly band on top of this. This is the piece that creates the pocket. Remember this kind of, I think, really cool pocket. So this band here is going to be your focal point. Let me show you how this translates to the portrait. So here's the envelope, right? Same envelope here. And here are all my goodies. And here is this page. See that? This page is this page right here. Okay? So the same, but not really. All right, so this is a really nice focal point. So I'm going to try to treat that as my focal point, and let's see what I can put there. Okay, something nice, or a really nice pattern that's going to tie this side in so I can just use it. And I'm thinking that this background is going to tie that in. So let's do that. And I love the check print. I'm sure you guys learned that about me already. So I'm going to try these two here. See what they look like. If I don't like it, guess what? We're not using it. All right, so I'm going to try it. We can always use it somewhere else. Now, I will tell you there is one thing that I'm looking for when I'm looking at pattern paper. Let me just get this measurement right because I'll forget it. Okay, I think I got it. Let's see. Let me cut this piece out. There is one slight thing that I'm looking for when I'm pairing up two or three pieces of pattern paper. And I'll tell you that in just a minute. Print size. Small print, medium print, large print. All right. But the reason why I didn't tell you that at the beginning is because I don't want you to fret on that. Just fret over it and be like, oh, is this a small print? Is this a medium print? No. Go with what you like first. Then, you try to determine the small, medium, and large. All right. There's really no rule of thumb or guideline as to what's small, medium, or large. It's what's pleasing to your eye, guys. Okay. To me, some people may say, oh, Kathy, that's a small print. But compared to this, to me, this is the small print. This would be the medium print. All right. So you really have to decide, what looks good. What do you like when you're looking at this? Okay. And hopefully that's making some sense, guys. I think it is, but we'll see. I gotta tell you, this paper is really not working for me. I don't know. This is the second place I put it, and the second place I don't like it. I don't know. I'm gonna have to remove it again, figure out where I'm gonna put it. But I really like that, but I do not like this paper. As adorable as it is, it's just not working for me, guys. At least not here yet. So I will flip it and see. Not so fab. Get rid of it. I'm going to try something else. I'm going to try these stars over here. Let's see what that looks like. I'm trying to love the paper. I do love it. It's just not working for me just yet. Let's figure out. We'll figure out where else it will work. So just take it out and keep on going. See, this I love. I like this a lot. I wish I would have centered my stars a little bit more, but we can figure that out. Now for the other side, right here, we're going to do the same exact look because we know it worked on the front. I've got this piece of paper here going, so why not just keep it going? Why have to pick something else, right? Oh, I think I found something that I may like more than the paper I have there already. Let's see. And I already have it cut. So let's see. I think I'm like, let me try this piece, this cherries, keep all the fruits together. Let's see. Too many fruits. Too many fruits, so we're not going to do that. I think I do like that. This is a photo mat. I do like this. I am going to keep this one over here. So let me just trim this down. Notice I just passed. I just kept it moving because I'm not loving that star paper either, just because of the way I cut it. So I'm just going to go back to it. This piece of paper is useless to me, so I'm throwing it out. The orientation is completely off if you're wondering why I'm getting rid of that. Alrighty. Try one more measurement. And because this is such a thin area here, I'm going to go with the same exact pattern paper because I don't want it to look too choppy. All right, the all over look, guys, you're going to see how fantastic it looks once we get through with it. Okay, same pattern paper. Look at this. This is nice because this is a really subtle print. But for me, I rather have this, at least in this particular instance right now. Okay? Maybe somewhere else I'll pick something different. But for now, because I want to put this here, this to me is too much. So I'm going to do this. Okay? Over here, this would be where a recipe goes. In here, this is where recipes goes, or photos, recipes and photos. And I'm going to switch one more thing out here because still not, this is not the paper that goes there. The stripe doesn't go there. That doesn't go there. This is so cute on the back. Try one more thing. I haven't been able to make it work, so guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to repeat the pattern. Oh, I cut wrong. Now that's bad. Let's see if I can save this. Darn it. I got to grab another piece of paper. Cut wrong, cut wrong, cut wrong. That I don't like when that happens, but it'll still work. I'll show you where. So I'm going to repeat this pattern because I can't find anything that I'm loving. Yep, see, this I like. When I can't find something that I'm loving, I repeat the pattern, guys. All right, that's it. And then I'm a happy camper. Okay, so I'm going to flip that over. Now, this is a photo mat here, or a recipe card if you want to. But when you're doing recipes, you usually don't write everything on one recipe card. So this would be a great place to put a picture of the item, and then your double, triple recipe card can go in here. All right, which is kind of how it worked out. It works out best. And then in here, you can put 2 or 3 recipe cards in here. All right, guys, so you'll see it's going to work out really, really fabulous. All right, so you can put a place photo here, Matt, but I just want to show you that you would only do this on one. And then on the rest of them, so you don't have to create so much bulk, you just stamp place photo here on the black cardstock. All right, so you don't add all the bulk. So you give the example, and then for the rest of them, you leave them blank. If you like the white paper and you want it to go around, you want to mat yet again with the photo and have that white border, you can leave this, right? There's no right or wrong way, but just know that if you leave the white paper and then you add a photo on top, you're adding bulk to the album, which may give you alligator mouth. etc., etc. Think about photos, embellishments, yada, 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 yada. All right. So to alleviate that, you can always increase the spine of the album. All right, guys. So if you're going to go with a smaller spine, then you have to pick and choose elements. If you don't want to pick and choose elements, you increase the spine of the album. It is that simple. You increase the spine, and therefore you want to increase the gusset in the Hidden Hinge Plus binding system. All right, what is the gusset? It's the spacing in between the binding system. And of course, I don't have an example of the Hidden Hinge Plus all by itself right now. But see, when you flip a page, this spacing is called the gusset. So if you increase your spine, you can also increase the gusset. All right. And that's all math that you guys have to learn how to do. All right. I show you the principles on how to make it, then you have to do the math. If you take other classes that I give, like for instance, Boxables, I teach you how to resize things. And in my other classes, I teach you how to resize. So those are things you have to look up. All right, my friends. All right. So I'm not going to do anything here just yet. Am I? I'm gonna go for it. Let's do it. So I'm gonna put my place photo here. And I always put the place photo here because that's for your benefit. I want you guys to be able to see where your photos go. I don't just want to give you a mini album just covered in pattern paper and you're going to say, okay, Kathy, what do I do with this? Yes, it looks beautiful, but it's not functional. So when I put my place photo here, my placeholder, my white mat, it's for your benefit so you can see where you put your photo. Doesn't mean that this is exactly how you're going to make your album. It means you're going to either put your photo there or put your photo on top of the mat. You know, you're going to decide what you're going to do. All right. All right. So here we go. Let's continue. There's that. Let's flip that over. Okay. So now we have yet another page. We're doing really good on this one. Really, really good. Here, I'm thinking is where I can put, oh, maybe breaking up this pattern may be the ticket here. Maybe. Nope, too big. See, this is to me is a medium pattern. Don't like the way that looks. But I do like the way that looks. Medium small pattern. Let's see. Or you can mat several times and do one of these jammies. Or you can use this as inspiration to create a look on your pocket. All right? Very simple. All right, guys, so let's continue. So I'm going to cut up some more pattern papers so we have some more choices. So I'm going to go ahead and pick yet another pattern paper. I'm just separating my pieces here so I'm not getting confused because I've got some small pieces in here that shouldn't go in here. And I want to make sure that I've got them all the way they should be. All right, so let's cut some more pattern paper. Again, this is where the photo goes and then your recipe or either or. All right, whatever you want. Oh, I love this paper here. Cute, cute. So let's do this. And then I'm going to mat the same paper. Same exact paper I'm matting. Just because I really, really like this look, the overall look for pockets. I really don't like it when things look too choppy. And we've gone ahead and discussed that already. So it can finish off on a really nice edge. So I cut right at that edge, right on the edge of the design, and then we get that. Okay, love. Remember, for your benefit, I'm putting the place photo here. Otherwise, if you have black paper, you can use a white stamp, right, with white ink oh, excuse for my reaching. And you do this, look. All right, place photo here with a white stamp. And that way you don't add any extra bulk to your projects. Okay? Now, if you have a giant spine, which I do not recommend anything over 4 inches, please. Nothing over 4 inches on your spine. Um, then you don't have to worry about that. You can add the white photo mat, etc., etc. Okay? All up to you, my friends. So let's see what we got here in terms of, we don't have a very good selection of pocket cards in this particular one, but we have these and we can absolutely use these with a little photo, right? With a place photo here. 2 of these fit on here just so you know. But like I already stamped there, so I'm going to use the white one. Alrighty. I'm going to use the white place photo here. And then back here, I'm going to do one of these and one of these. And then you have a really nice alternating look. Here, on this side, you can do a 4x4 photo. All right. 4x4 photo. And then you can do 2 of the 2x2sies, right here. It's so hard to see when you're on black on black. Okay, right there and right there. And you'll have this look. All right, so that's what I'm doing there. And I can't help myself, so I got to do my place photo. Just finishes the look for me. All right, so now I'm going to flip this over and whoopsie, and I'm going to go for just a nice piece of pattern paper on this side. And then, well, I really don't want you to waste your pattern paper when that's clearly for photo mats. I'm sorry, hang on a second. Baby. All right, right here. Really like that. And you can, if you want, you can break up the pattern. That's what that would look like. Or you can use an overall pattern. I'm going to be honest with you. This overall pattern for me will not work because it's going to chop everything up in the wrong places. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to use something subtle, something like this on this side here. Okay? So let me see what I got in my stash of cut papers already. And hopefully I have another piece of that paper. But I'm so good at cutting, 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 cutting all the way down to the last little bit. So sometimes I don't have that available. Let me see what I have over here. Oh, I've got this one. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that. See, this works. So here you would do photo mat or pocket card, pocket recipe card, photo mat. I'm going to leave these blank because I'm going to print out some recipe cards and I'll have those ready in the next video for you guys. All right. And let's do this last pocket. This will be a good stopping point and then we'll ink and glue everything down. All right, so I cut this piece of paper down that I do not think it's going to work for this pocket. Let's see. It certainly does, my friends. Let's see. Yes, it does. And now I'm going to use a nice subtle print on the bottom. See that this is perfect sizing. Very subtle, not too much print top and bottom. Look at that. I finally made that work, guys. All right. Finally made that work. All right, so now we're going to ink things into place. All righty. So let's do that. All right, let's go for it. Again, black soot is still what I'm going for. Let's see, let's see. I'm trying to find my ink here. Hang on, guys. All right, guys, here we go. So let's ink. Let's go right back. Gosh, where did I do that? See what happens when you get too organized? Oh, I moved it. I got to stop moving things. This is what happened with the paper. You've got to stop moving things, Kathy. All right, so let me get my corner rounder out. And yes, you can do this a couple of them at a time, but there has been times that I do it wrong. I do the wrong print. So I just take my time. And I think that's all I'm rounding for now. Let's ink. So really light inking around the edges again. We're just trying to cover up the raw edge. Alrighty, and this piece here. Whoa. Alrighty, that's that. So see, what do we have for takeaways here, guys? There's always the same takeaway throughout my videos. One, you don't have to commit to something. You can change it if you don't like it. It's very simple. You're never stuck with it. Even when you glue it down, you're never stuck with it, guys. So you can always change it if you don't like it. So that also helps you enjoy the process, right? And you want to pick the pattern you like first. If it doesn't work, then you change it. Okay? When you're picking patterns, you want to try to use different sizes, like a small print with a large print, or a small print with a medium print, etc., etc. And that'll help you with the look of the album. That's when coordination comes into play as opposed to matchy matchy. All right? And I'll explain more of that when I have a very good example of it. Okay? I have one right in front of me. Oops, I forgot to do that one. Hold on. This is a very good example of coordination versus matchy-matchy. You would not wear all these patterns on top and bottom. Remember I said think about it as if you were to wear it, but it coordinates. It looks good. All right. We've got some colors in there going on and it looks good. So to me, this is an example of good coordination right here. All right. As opposed to being matchy, 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 or having the designer, when a designer does paper, they kind of do matchy, matchy prints. All right. And I'll show you an example of that in just a minute. All right. Whereas you would coordinate the papers. And some people may say, Kathy, those two things mean the same to me. They do not. Okay. Because for something to coordinate does not have to match. It has to look good. Okay. And hopefully I'm articulating that well. But it makes sense to me, guys. All right. So we're going to ink all this up. And then we're going to start gluing. I'm just going to throw these in here so they're not in my way. Okay, we know where those go. And then over here. I think I'm coming to a good example of matchy-matchy. Remember that one print that just didn't work and I kept on moving, that didn't match or did not coordinate. Okay? Just didn't go, period. Boom. That's it. Forget about the term. It just did not work. So you changed it. If you can't figure out the term, then you want to ask yourself the question, does this work? If the answer is no, change it. Okay? Yesterday in my class, I was doing a photo mat and I used these stinking pine cones that were adorable. The pine cones were so cute. I got it. I can't lie to you guys. I try to make those pine cones work. I used glue and put some glitter around the pine cones just so I can keep the pine cones. It didn't work. The bottom line is I got so far in the one particular photo mat that I had to literally scrap it and start all over again. All right? Because I couldn't pull all the elements off. There was glue, glitter everywhere. So what did I do? I was unhappy with it. I scrapped it. I pulled off what I can save, and the rest of it went right in the trash because, I try to save it, but it was just, it was not working. So I let it go, guys. All right. Oh gosh, this is a perfect example of coordination. All right. This red, all the reds in here, this is all matching. This brown becomes the coordinating part right here. All right, there's no brown anywhere, but the brown goes. It's the neutralizer, it's the basic. All right, it's the neutral color that brings everything together. So there is a perfect example of matching versus coordination. And sorry that I jumped to two things, but I saw this, I was like, hello, there it is. Okay, just like denim. Denim allows you to coordinate patterns like nothing else can do. All right. It's not matching, it's coordinating. All right. Hopefully that works. The color black, but not really because brown and black don't match. All right. So there you go. All right, my friends. So and in that, I had to start all over again because I couldn't get it to match. I couldn't get it to coordinate. I couldn't get anything to work with those pine cones. So I said, screw it. And I started again and I came up with a new design that was even cuter. And it took me less than 5 minutes, I believe. All right. So you just have to truly, truly learn when to give up and step away from things that are not working. Okay. You really have to. All right, so we're just about done with our inking. Then we're going to run all of this through the Xyron and call it good. Okay, over here, let's ink this up. We got through quite a bit. Oh, don't need that side. Don't get lost. When I find the recipe cards that I'm going to use, I'm going to link it in the description box so you guys can also use the file. And all you have to do is literally Google recipe card, free printable recipe cards, and you'll find whatever you want. Okay? And I say print it onto craft paper if you're using this same exact paper collection. And then you'll get some nice variation between the craft and the black and all these beautiful colors in this paper collection. Another thing you can do is Michaels. If you have a Michaels near you, they always have some coordinating, not coordinating, excuse me, some dollar spot. I don't know if it's still a dollar, but in the dollar spot, they always have recipe cards there. You can get something that matches or something that coordinates. Okay. All right. Matching would be reds. I would say red would definitely match with this paper collection all the way, but craft will coordinate. Okay. All right, let's run these pieces. This was a good, oh, I did one more. Hold on. Okay. So here's the question you got to ask yourself when you put two papers down. Is this matching? Yes. The question is no. Okay, does this look good? So that means, does it coordinate? If the answer is yes, you did good. So the bottom line, guys, is does this look good? Period. That's it. If it looks good, who cares what the principles are, what the rules are? Rules are a guideline. We should all follow certain kind of rules, but some rules are just silly. All right? And not all rules have to be followed, my friends. All right? So, there you go. Here's my what do you call that thing? God, my Xyron. So I'm just going to start running things through my Xyron. And I'm going to try to stay in order because I made several changes and I don't want to screw anything up. Okay, like I did the last time. That was fun. Trying to figure out where things go, right? So this goes on the outside. These go on the inside and these go on the outside. Okay, so outside. Let's do all our outsides together. Whoopsie. Just move myself over. And this is outside, outside. This one goes on the inside, this way up. That's where I think I messed up the last time. I didn't put glue tape on the right side, on the correct side. And then I couldn't figure it out. And then this piece here. All right, next up. So that goes like that. This goes like this. Now we can pull this one out. And we'll do that. We'll stick that through our little example. And we'll keep it moving. Gosh, did I tell you how much I love this little machine? Can't get enough of it, I tell you. Love it. All right, that goes there. There, I don't know if I'm going to use that one. Let's put it over there. These go face up like so. These are going to be a little challenging to get in there. It's got this little, I showed you this in the other one. If you want to see my machine, it's the Xyron 1200, but any of the other Xyrons will work. Okay. Oh no. See, I put that the wrong way. It is this way. I would have screwed that up, guys. That's going to be recipe cards. Boom, boom. Just make sure you're putting it the right side up so you don't screw up. All right, I'm cutting everything off. And I'm going to close this very quickly. So exactly the way I ran my paper through my Xyron, that's exactly how it, whoopsie. That's exactly how I'm going to go ahead and run everything and just peel everything off and mat my album. So quick burnish, all right, just makes life easier. And I don't know why, but I've got to stand up for this process. It's just easier for me. And you get some, you're moving around a little bit. You're not just sitting for so long. So you may want to consider just standing up a little bit throughout some of these processes. And you get a little movement. See, these kind of went in all sorts. This one kind of tucked in. That doesn't bother me. I don't care. If I need to add a little bit of adhesive to cover that area, I will. Otherwise, I'm good. So now I'm peeling this back. I do not necessarily throw this away because I use it to give myself one more, what I call sweep, and I'll show you what that is. So make a little ball out of it. And then I go one more time in, trying to get all the gunk out from around. One thing I noticed with the Xyron, that is best to leave a little bit of a gap because then you can go in there and get it. If things are too close to each other, you can't get all that gunk that accumulates, at least for me. But again, I always tell you guys how many times I sound like a broken record. You have to try these little techniques out. If they don't work, you do what works for you. Please. Okay, and then over here. And you want to turn this paper over a few times. Because, you see, look at all that tape that comes off. Get a nice clean spot. And I have to tell you, this is not foolproof. I still get gunk all over not all over, on some of my edges. So that's when I go in with the eraser, and I'll show you. So you gotta take your time, okay? Enjoy the process, people. Sometimes doing these things like this, help you to enjoy the process because you don't have to deal with all the other, nonsense. So take the time to do this, and then your matting will be a breeze. Let me move my water back because that can be a disaster. Let's get our book back into place. All right, I will glue that in with wet glue, and let's make it happen, guys. All right, so pulling my pieces off, looking for that perfect 1/8 inch border, and then sticking it down. Okay, open that up. All right, see here, I got a little bit of gunk there. So that's when I use this eraser over here. If I could pull it out. I use this eraser. And I get rid of any excess. When your eraser gets too gunky like mine, you can start trimming that gunk off until you keep on until you need a new eraser. But I just use mine until it doesn't remove any more gunk. Okay? And I say gunk because that's the only thing I can think of to call the residue, the glue residue. I just don't want to say boogers. All right, guys, we're not going to say that. All right, here we go. Open that up. Let me just put this piece down so I can get rid of it. All right, for this particular envelope and in the other book, you could use a magnet as a closure, but you don't always have to use magnets, guys. There's so many other things you can use as closures. I mean, throughout the years, I've used lots of different things as closures. So my favorite closure is a paper clip. All right, so that's what I'm using here. If you want to use a magnet, go for it. I sell the best magnets, guys. You can check out my website. All right, you can see I sell magnets, and I didn't use magnets here to send you guys to my website. Why? It's not necessary. All right, a magnet is not always necessary for a closure. You can use a multitude of things. But if you want a magnet, I highly encourage you to use mine. And that's paperphenomenon.com. Look at how pretty. That is pretty, guys. Very, very pretty. So here, where one might have used a magnet, hey, just use a paper clip. Look, and you could just tack something on there. How cute would that be? All right, let me figure this out. All right, so I used, guys, and if the sound goes down on my mic, is because I move my mic, because sometimes I feel like I'm breathing too hard into it. So if you hear the volume go down, is because I moved my microphone away from my face. All you have to do is raise your volume. Okay? And again, that's because I don't want you guys listening to me breathe like, we're crazy. Okay, had a little gunk there, so eraser time. And here. And here I've got quite a bit of gunk. Let's get rid of that. All right, here we go. Ooh, I messed up my piece of paper there. Alrighty, here. All right, finding that perfect 1/8 of an inch border before I settle on a spot. Look at that, how pretty. All right, and right there. All right, I'm thinking I'm going to change the spot of this little. Remember this one was on this side? I think I'm going to change it because I think I'm loving this look here. Okay. Remember I've said to you before, you want to make sure that everything is cascading beautifully. So in this case, I want this little peak. And what you probably say, what am I going to do with this spot here, guys? You can put a little photo or a sentiment. We're going to put a sentiment here in the middle. Okay? How do you put a photo in there? Super. I think I did this the wrong way. I certainly did. And I'm not going to deal with that. Know how I say, can you live with it or you can't? Can't live with it. All right, so I'm going to keep on going and then I'm going to come back and cut a piece. Okay? Can't live with it? That's another question you have to ask yourself. Can you live with it? I cannot. And I'm throwing that little piece away because those apples are all over the place. It's not like I can use it again. Okay? So I will just cut another piece. Seriously. And if I don't have any more of that paper, I get another paper. I think I got to go this way, guys. Hold on. Yep. Alrighty. And over here. Just one of those papers that you don't know if it's coming or going. You don't know which is the right or the wrong side. It's like, oh my gosh. All right, so this away. Okay. And over here. How fun was this? Love this. So much fun. If I really didn't enjoy listening to music so much when I'm matting, I would totally mat with all my projects with you guys here on YouTube. But I have to remember how I say you have to enjoy the process. I really, really enjoy the process of matting. Oh, I put this on the wrong side, but that's okay. I can live with that. See, the question is, can you live with it or not? I can. Alrighty, here we go. So I really love matting and listening to music. So I totally did this one wrong. I can't even remember what I did, but oh well. Oh well. So that's why I do final reviews, because when I'm matting, I'm listening to my favorite music. I'm just enjoying it, guys, having a good time. If I'm mat with you guys here all the time, I gotta talk and talk and talk. No longer becomes fun to me. And I do my best work when I'm enjoying the process. All right, but we'll see. I'm not making any promises, so don't even send me a comment, leave me a comment about that. Saying, yes, Kathy, do it. No, I'm not listening. Not gonna listen to you guys. I mean, the final review, we gotta go this way on this pocket, my friends, okay? Why? You probably ask me, why are you going upside down? Because when I'm doing it this way, I'm pressing down on the pocket and I can't get my paper in there. So when I do it the opposite direction, I don't press down on my pocket and my paper goes in just a little bit easier. Actually, it's not, my friends. We'll see. Let me lift it a little bit. Just got to wrestle with it, guys. Show it who's boss. There we go. There we go. Show the paper who's the boss. All right, beautiful. I forgot what I was saying now. All right, let's put this last piece on. Then we got, for next to last piece, then we got to go back and cut another piece of paper because I screwed up that last piece. Well, we're in this together. We screwed up that last piece, guys. This would have been one of my live classes. The ladies would have been yelling at me. You're putting the paper in the wrong way. All right. Hold on here, people. I'm holding my tongue a certain way so that I can get this paper in here. Okay, here we go. Beautiful. All right, let's go back. I remember that dimension, so I'm just gonna cut it up. I'm gonna throw this out. I'm gonna fold it just in case I need it. I can unfold it instead of crumbling it up. Let's see what we got going on here. I have a piece. Did I don't remember that now. Oh yeah. Well, let me measure. Let's not get crazy here. I don't have a lot of this paper. I don't want to crack into another pack just for this print. Know how hard it was for me to match that up. or make it look good. Where's here we go. Whoopsie. All right. So I'm going to do this with some tape because I'm not just going to run this through my Xyron. I'll waste a bunch of adhesive. So let's do it with my tape, how I normally used to do it before my Xyron. It would took me forever and 10 days on this video to do this with you guys. Or I would use wet glue. This is so much better. Excuse me, the Xyron. But there's always a but, guys. You're like, don't say but. Yesterday during my class, I barely used the Xyron. I did use it, but I barely. And I'm going to show you why. The album that I was making yesterday did not call for this style of matting, okay? Or this method of matting. So I use a different method and I'll show you why in just a moment. So let's recap here, people. Look how nice that looks. Switching those strawberries around to the front, I think made a nice difference there. It made this mint green color pop more as opposed to just having, here would be a recipe or a photo. So that would look a little messy, I think. All right, so I really like that. And check it out, my friends. How pretty is that? Really, really pretty. So I'll be back with another video, but let me show you why um, I didn't mat with my Xyron yesterday. So we're working on what I call remix. We're remixing a bunch of old projects, yada, yada, yada. So when I was working on this book here, this one is about layouts, creating layouts over these hidden pockets in this album. All right, so this album has a bunch of hidden pockets, or what would become hidden once you put the layouts on there. So I had to create the layouts, or I had to mat as I went along because I needed the layers, to be in place before I put my photos down. All right. So this I didn't use my Xyron. I used a lot of wet glue and I used dry adhesive like this. All right. So it all depends what you're working on, what style of album you're working on, where you use what adhesive you use. There's not a one fits all, guys. All right. See this is a very good example of the place photo here. Here, I did the place photo here paper so the recipient, which is Judy Ryan, can see where to put her photos. But if I do this through the entire book, she's not going to be able to put photos here. So what I did, this is the layout that I wound up with after I scrapped the first one. What I did was when I was creating this one, I had these in here as placeholders, okay? So that I knew where to glue my elements so that they would see, look, they wouldn't glue onto the 4x6. See how easy it is for me to slip a 4x6 in there? Two 4x6s. So as I was creating my look, my layout, I had these in there. I glued everything down. I made sure they weren't glued onto the photo mat, right? And then I removed the photo mats and I did the place photo here so she knows that's where it goes. All right. So the first page is going to look like this, but all of the other ones, I'm going to put my pieces down so I know where to put my decorative elements and so that I'm not gluing things down in the wrong place. So this is an option. If you want to be sure that you have enough room for your embellishments, photos, etc., you use the white pieces as a placeholder while you're decorating, then you take them off and you're left with something like this. All right, guys? So a lot of people always leave me comments stating the obvious. which is, oh, but can we leave it there for a white border? Yada, yada. Yes, of course. But you have to consider the fact that photos still have to go in this book. So if you're adding a bunch of stuff in here, then well, by the time you're all said and done, your book is going to be like this. Look, like this. You don't want that. So you want to consider all of your options. If you want to leave the white place photo here, then you increase the spine, and you increase the gussets in your binding system. All right, that's it. All right, my friends, I'll be back with another video. This matting 101 has become just a wealth of information. I hope you guys are enjoying it. I'll be back.